Why? Because when HaKadosh Baruch Hu made the first luchos, those luchos were made by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And so they were infinite, and they could hold all of the Torah and all the meanings of the Torah. The second luchos, Moshe made, and so they were not infinite. They couldn't hold an infinite amount of Torah like the first ones could. They were more limited. And once we translate the Torah into Greek, you don't need a chachamim to tell you now what it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to mean. And that's a big problem. So if a person wants to learn Torah, you understand that it has to go through the Jewish people who can explain it. And people who are interested in twisting things around for their own purposes, it's not Torah anymore. And now that it was in Greek and everyone could read it without understanding it, that was a terrible tragedy. Because now the Torah was open to Bible criticism, misinterpretation. Thomas Paine in The Age of Reason points out that the Bible says the rabbit and the hare chew their cud and don't have split hoofs. And he said, but everyone knows the rabbit and the hare do not chew their cud. They don't have multiple stomachs. They excrete pellets of undigested grass and then eat it again. That's not the same thing as chewing your cud. So he's right, but he was working with an English translation of a Latin translation of a Greek translation of the Torah. And the Torah says a shafan and a neves, which people chose to translate as a rabbit and a hare, but the Gemara itself clearly says that whatever these two animals are no longer extant. We don't know what they are. Nobody ever claimed they were a rabbit and a hare. So someone decided to translate it that way, and then the translation continued to grow until therefore he turns around and wants to slug up the Torah based on a translation of a translation of a translation of an original text that we said you needed oral tradition to understand in the first place.